We are now joined by Oklahoma head coach Patty Gasso and then student athletes Callie Parsons, Kaylani Ricketts, Jessica Schultz, and Brianna Turang. We'll start with an opening comment from Coach, and then we'll go to the floor with questions.
That was fun. We enjoyed it very much, not necessarily because of the outcome of the amount of the score, because we respect Texas like nobody else. We were really feeling that this was going to be a major battle, and we knew it right from the start. But what was fun is to see every single one of these players participate in the win. Whether they're starters or not, everybody had a hand in helping create a rally or drive in runs or make big plays. Everybody had a part in it, and I was extremely proud to see this team fight early on, not getting panicked by the fact that Texas came out and scored early and scored too early. And we just kind of took our time, more patient, and created some momentum. We tried to stay aggressive, and it seemed to work out very well.
We'll open it up for questions. Please raise your hand and wait for the mic to come to you, and then state your name and affiliation before you ask your question.
Gary Niemiec of the Tulsa World. Brianna, what's the plan to drop down a 5-foot bunt and then circle the bases? I don't suppose you'll admit that.
No, that wasn't the plan, but I was just trying to put the ball in play and get Lauren Chamberlain up to bat. That's kind of been my main goal this whole season, is to get on any way I can and put the bat in Lauren Chamberlain's hands, especially if there's runners in scoring position, because obviously we all know that she has a hot bat. So that's been my goal.
Could you sort of follow up real quick? Could you sort of take us through what you saw during that whole sequence?
I think because there was runners in scoring position, I saw that they were a little bit back, and so my goal was kind of to put it in between to where they kind of didn't know who was going to get the ball, and it went a little bit over. I didn't expect it, but I just tried to run my butt off to get to first and just kind of see what happens. I just use my speed to see, maybe put pressure on the defense.
Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Hey, Jessica, can you talk about the inning that Texas scored the runs, and just seemed like you guys were scuffling a little bit, but then what Coach talked about with no panic, where does that come from for you guys?
I feel like that's been just our thing all year, and not to panic and know that our offense puts up a lot of runs, and we're pretty good at answering when something doesn't go our way. And so I feel like we're a pretty easy team, so we don't let things like that get to us, and we know that our bats will come alive once we go through the lineup one time.
Adam Chalkstill, Express Star in Grady County. Kalani, talk about that third inning. You know, the top of the third was a difficult one. Texas scored, but you came back. How did it feel to get that double to really spark your team's comeback?
It felt good just because I didn't have any success in my first at-bat, and so I was going up there trying to be more decisive with my swing just because, you know, Blair's a hard pitcher to be decisive with just because she has so many different pitches to not lay off of. So just being more decisive and looking at balls lower in the zone.
Stephanie Kuzinen with the Oklahoman. Bree, can you talk about, when was the last time you ran a 40? Was it in high school when you ran a 4.5?
Yeah, that was the last time.
Do you contribute that speed, I guess, to all the training you've had with softball and soccer?
Yeah, I think a lot of soccer training is short sprints, and I think throughout high school and throughout college, I've been kind of training to do those fast, short sprints, so I think that really contributed.
Clay Horning, Norman Transcript. I guess Jessica and maybe one other player. You know, it's one thing to have the confidence that you'll come back when you fall behind, but it seems like another thing entirely to actually expect to come back and have the lead before the inning is over. And that's been your history lately. You get behind, you come back with even more runs. Do you expect that to happen at this point?
I feel like we're just expect our bats to come alive. We have a great lineup 1 through 9, so I feel like it kind of fuels us a little bit and kind of wakes us up a little bit, and we expect to score runs, and we know Kaylani does a great job on the mound, and she's not going to give up too many runs. So,
Callie, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think we just trust each other, and as we go through the game, we just know that we're going to be able to score runs. And there are many games where we do start out ahead, but when we're not, we always come back and fight back.
Up front.
Me?
Yes.
Suzanne Halliburton, Austin American Statesman. Coach, were you surprised that Connie yanked Blair Luna out so quickly? Because I guess Kalani was having a little bit of issues that inning as well, and you kept her in.
I don't know their history together, so I could feel that the momentum was shifting, and I think it was a call to try to stop that momentum. So I don't know the history of them enough to say that I was surprised or not, but I know that the game prior, they did the same thing and had success bringing in Bruins, who has great numbers and has done a great job. So she knows better than I do. That's all I could say.
Corbin Hostler with Norman Transcript. Coach, do you want to talk about just your aggressiveness on sending the base runners home? And it's kind of something that you've done all year and being aggressive with it, and it paid off today. What is your mentality with that, just in terms of how aggressive you're being?
I think to make the defense make plays. I mean, when you're in big games like this, everybody's tight. We're just trying to bring it. And you can beat us. You make a great throw like the other day. Michigan's right fielder just nailed a throw to get Georgia at third. I read a little bit about the outfield. I mean, Washington is phenomenal. She's got a gun in center field. But it's where she picks it up is what makes my decision. Is it on her glove hand? Is it on her throwing hand? Things like that that I look at. Couple things that haven't been really talked about was Brittany Williams, and I put her in a hole with 2 strikes because she had to take that bunt, that double steal, and then Brittany Williams comes up and hits that deep fly ball. That was, to me, even with a lead on Texas, you don't feel comfortable. That was a big shift in the game, I felt. That was huge, and Brittany Williams made that happen. Callie Parsons in the 8-hole. The 8-hole, getting 3 RBIs is, these are the names you don't hear too much about. They quietly do their job, and they do it so well. And I think on this big stage today, they really, really helped this team win.
Brianna, you guys seem to have it's not if, it's when mentality. Where does that come from?
Our team has been so close, especially we've always been close, but especially coming together throughout these few weeks that everything is happening, we've just been getting closer and closer. And I think when you have that much trust in your teammates, you really don't have a worry in the world. And when you have a pitcher like Kehlani Ricketts, that's going to shut him down anyways. I think it gives us a lot of confidence to come out and do what we do, and trust ourselves.
Joe Masada, the OU Daily. Coach, how big of an advantage do you feel it is to get off to the 2-0 start so far, and now you're able just to sit back and watch how everything else unfolds?
Every game is the biggest game that you've played, but this game is the biggest game there is because it puts you in a position to have someone have to beat you twice. And I think right now with the way we're playing, that would be difficult for any team here to do. So it allows us to get a little extra rest. It allows us to do our research and our homework as to who we're going to face next. And, it's for 2 teams, and it being us in Tennessee, it's really a tremendous advantage.
Gina Mizell with the Oklahoman. Coach, this game was obviously supposed to be played last night before all the crazy weather hit. Can you just talk about how you managed this group through last night, everything that happened, and then heading into today?
Well, I know everybody here and everyone around was dealing with the same thing we were. What we've learned is to stay very close. So wherever we went, we did a roll call. Everybody was calling out a number to make sure we're all together. The families followed. Wherever we went, there was a group of families just following wherever because we know how to handle this stuff. So it was a little trying on these guys because they had families in. Some from out of town that were staying in Norman, and we knew that this storm was taking the path that way. So there was a little bit of anxiety and uncomfortableness, but we just stuck together throughout most of the night and just knew where each other were, tried to get in contact with our families in Norman, which was trying. That was the toughest part of everything, was just making sure that when you're separated is the most uncomfortable thing there is. And once we got a hold of everybody, then we just kind of reevaluated what happened, let it go, get locked in. We're still on this journey. Our journey has taken some major twists and turns, and we're just staying on the path.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Callie, I lost in this run rule victory may be that Bruins was a pitch away from retiring you guys in the 3rd inning, and it was a 3-2 pitch she threw to you that you bounced back through the middle. Take me through that at bat, and if it's any different, through the 3-2 pitch, because I mean the whole game might have been very different if that goes differently.
Yeah, you know, she came out and threw 2 balls on me and went back to back, low outside, and sitting up there with the 2-2 count. I knew that the girls in front of me did everything they could to get on base and did their job, and so I had to do everything I needed to do to fight and find my way on. And in the 3-2 count, I was just trying to see the ball into the zone and get a good hack on it.
And final question. Rayburn.
Patty, Blair Luna is one of the best strikeout pitchers in the game, and yet you all took 7 walks off of Texas pitchers, and you seem to be going long in the counts like the Yankees. Were you deliberately trying to run up her pitch count?
I don't know that we were trying to run up the pitch count, but more of just really staying with our game plan and not chasing things out of the zone. And I'll tell you, and Kalani can tell you the same thing. We've played each other so much that there's no surprises. We kind of know what we're going to get, and you just have to be extremely disciplined, as does Texas. It's tough to when you. This is the 4th time we've played Texas, but all these kids are seniors, and they've seen each other for 4 years. So we know some things that can get to her a little bit, and we try to just be very disciplined and patient at the plate.
All right, thank you guys.
Stay in the zone.
Yes, sir.
We also have Destiny Martinez and Brittany Williams available in the back.